Greetings to all. A warm welcome, dear sisters and dear brothers, and my dear friends. You all are welcome to a new broadcast about the way to love, a meditation for life. And this is your pastor, Yeti. Today I'm going to do the broadcast of the blind see, and the Bible verse that we're going to work with is John 9:39. This is a broadcast from Belgium in my hometown, Sint-Niklaas, where I will stay for a couple of months and then fly back to California. For judgment I came into this world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may become blind. It is said that love is blind, but it is. Actually, nothing on earth is as clear-sighted as love. The thing that is blind is not love, but attachment. An attachment is a state of clinging that comes from the false belief that something or someone is necessary for your happiness. Do I have any attachments? People or things that you falsely believe you could not be happy without? Make a list of them right now. If you of course have time to do that, but please think about it before we go on to study how exactly they blind you. For those who are able to write it down, can listen further to my advice and the spiritual path of the way to love. Think of a politician who has convinced himself he will not be happy unless he gets political power. His quest for power coarsens his sensitivity to the rest of life. He barely has time for his family and friends. Suddenly, all human beings are perceived and reacted to in terms of the support or threat that they are to his ambition. And those who can neither threaten nor support, he does not even notice. If in addition to his craving for power, he has an attachment to other things like sex or money, the poor man has become so selective in his perception that he could almost be said to be blind. Everyone sees this except the man himself. This is the condition that leads to the rejection of the Messiah, the rejection of truth and beauty and goodness, because one has come to be blind to perceive them. Now think of yourself, listen to an orchestra in which the sound of the drum is so loud that nothing else can be heard. To enjoy the symphony, you must be responsive to every instrument in the orchestra. And to be in the state called love, you must be sensitive to the uniqueness and beauty of every single thing and person around you. You can hardly be said to love what you do not even notice. And if you notice only a few beings to the exclusion of others, that is not love at all. For love excludes no one at all. It embraces the whole of life. It listens to the symphony as a whole, not to just one or the other of the musical instruments. Stop for a while now to see how your attachments drain life's symphony to less then the politician's attachment to power and the businessman's attachment to money have hardened them to the melody of life. Or look of the matter in another way. There is an enormous amount of information that is continuously flowing in from the world through the senses, the tissues of the organs of your body. Only a small part of this information reaches your conscious mind. It is like the infinite amount of feedback that is sent to the president of a nation, and only a tiny fraction finally makes its way to him. Somebody does the screening and the processing of the president's office. Who decides that what will finally make its way to your conscious mind from all the material that is pouring in from the world? 3 decisive filters. First, your attachments. Second, your belief. And third, your fears. Your attachments, you will inevitably look for what fosters or threatens them and turn a blind eye to the rest. You won't be interested in the rest any more than the avaricious businessman is interested in anything that does not involve the making of money. Your beliefs. Just take a look at a fanatic who only notices what confirms his, her belief and blocks out whatever threatens it, and you will understand what your beliefs are doing to you. And then your fears. If you knew you were to be executed in a week's time, it would wonderfully concentrate your mind to the exclusion of everything else. That is what fears do. They irresistibly rivet your attention on the some things to the exclusion of others. You falsely think that your fears protect you. Your beliefs have made you what you are, and your attachments make your life exciting and secure. You fail to see that they are actually a screen between you and life's symphony. It is quite impossible, of course, to be fully conscious of every note in life's symphony. But if your spirit becomes unclogged and your senses open, you will begin to perceive things as they really are and to interact with reality. And you will be entranced or entranced by the harmonies of the universe. Then you will understand what God is, for you will at least know what love is. Look at it this way. You see persons and things not as they are, but as you are. If you wish to see them as they are, just must attend to your attachments and the fears that your attachments generate. Because when you look at life, it is these attachments and fears that will decide what you will notice and what you block out. Whatever you notice then commands your attention. And since you're looking as being selective, you have an illusory version of the things and people around you. The more you live with this distorted version, the more you become convinced that it is the only true picture of the world, because your attachments and fears continue to process incoming data in a way that will reinforce your picture. This is what gives origin to your beliefs, fixed, unchanged ways of looking at a reality which is not fixed and unchanging at all, but in movement and change. So it is no longer the real world that you interact with and love, but the world created by your head. It is only when you drop your beliefs, your fears, and the attachments that breed them to you will be freed from the insensitivity that makes you so deaf and blind to yourself and to the world. It may be very hard to hear all these words, but as always, on a regular basis, open myself to say all of you that we are not here to judge. We are here to learn, to give advice to one another, and everything has to happen and us to following up by love. And even when Jesus said hard words to the people he was walking with and sit with, it was always from his very deep understanding to bring them close, to abide in him. Let these words of John 9:39 comes to you, and let your mind, heart and soul and your activities work with these words. And in all what you just heard, try to write things down, make it accountable so that your life can make a change, to become better understanding about love. For judgment I came into this world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may become blind. May God bless your hearts, and may He embrace you. With His healing and guidance from His Holy Spirit. This is your Pastor Yeti.